Okay, we are recording.
All right, Mr. Bustillos, we're all set to resume?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you are still recording this on your phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Camera on you only, though, right?
Only on me, yes, sir.
All righty.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me. There we go. From be drinking from this one. There we go.
All set?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Okay.
Tell me in your words what happened in that incident at Navajo.
I was unlawfully arrested.
Okay.
In a nutshell, that's pretty much what happened.
Well, why don't you take it from the top and describe for me what happened?
Okay. From when the officers arrived, or my purpose being
when
there?
When you first got
okay. As soon as I began approaching the Navajo refinery, the security guard was already coming to approach me. So at that point, I was going to just static record so I can make a good video for it. And since he came at me, was coming towards me, I went ahead and went live for my protection. And
okay, I'm going to stop you as you go along here because you're going to say some things that I'm not positive what you mean. So forgive me, but I'm going to interrupt you and ask you a couple questions as you go along. When you say static record, what does that mean?
That means just record on the camera, like as my camera's doing now.
Right.
And then I live stream because it's harder for someone to destroy my footage. So if a cop wants to take my phone and destroy my footage so he can't get in trouble for violating my rights or hurting me or doing something, then, you know, if I'm live streaming, it's a lot harder for him to do so.
Okay.
And then I also have an audience with, you know, they're going to be the witnesses and, you know, recordings.
And you said that you live streamed this visit to Navajo, right?
Because I was approached.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no problem. Anytime. So, you know, they told me, you know, you can't be recording the refinery, and I told him, yes, I can. And he says, well, we have a policy that, you know, you can't. I said, I'm not on your installation. I'm out here in public. Your policies don't apply to me. I'm out here, you know, I'm a free citizen out here on public property. I told him, if I go on your property, then I become subject to your all's rules and policies. But as long as I'm out here, you know, I can record anything my eyes can see. You can't trespass my eyes. So I explained a lot of them. I told them about the easement, you know, where it's at. You can see the utility markers and everything. And I researched the GIS survey before I went out there. So I knew
what? I'm sorry.
The GIS survey, the map that tells you public and private property. So I researched that. I knew exactly where public property was. I knew where my boundaries.
I'm sorry, slow down just.
Okay, I knew exactly where my boundaries were. I knew where public property ended and where their property began. So I knew not to cross their you know, cross into their property. And I was forced to actually walk alongside the highway because those Jersey or cement barricades, whatever, you know, they call them, is actually on public property. It's not on their property. It's actually like several feet on public property. And so I was forced to walk along the highway. And then after, you know, letting them know, look, there's a public easement. If my car broke down right there, I'm not going to get arrested because I have to get out and walk. There has to be a public easement.
Slow down.
Okay. Yeah, if my car breaks down right there, I'm not going to get arrested because I have to get out of my car, get out and walk. There has to be a public easement for everyone. And that's what I was explaining to them. So they got comfortable. They're like, okay, cool. They didn't really have a problem with it after that. So when I began walking and started conversating with my viewers, letting them know, because like I said, I used to be a truck driver in the oil field. I understood the basics of what goes on in the refinery, of how it works. I've done work in the refinery, but like I said, it's been so many years.
Sorry.
I've done work before in the refinery. I was a truck driver in the oil field, but it's been so many years, I forgot all the specifics and the details, but I know the basics of how it operates. So I was trying to explain that to my audience. And during that time, I was interrupted by another employee of the Navajo refinery who stopped in the middle of the highway to confront me, telling me I couldn't, and then he told me he's going to tell the security. I told him I already talked to the security. So, you know, as he left and I continued down, doing my thing, and then when I get to the very end, another employee of Navajo Refinery, his truck broke down in the highway, and I turn around, seen him there trying to push his vehicle, so I run onto the highway to help him push his vehicle safely off the highway into the Navajo, where he's, I just helped him push it up into there. Went back to the corner where I was standing, and of course, because I had already walked a long path, and then I just went and helped him push that truck, I was kind of exhausted, and then this other safety officer shows up, and he's like, "Can I speak to you?" And I'm like, oh man, by this time I'm tired and frustrated. I'm just trying to get my video shots, and then I'll leave. And then so he started telling me that I was on their property, and I'm telling him again, like I told the first security guards, no, I'm not. This is where the boundary is. This is where your land is. This is where ours is. This is where I can be. And then while I was talking to him was when the first female officer arrived. So I figured her name, Sanchez is her name. When she shows up, she asked for my ID, and I refused to give it to her because I hadn't broken a law. And she says that I was required to give it to her, and I said, no, I'm not. I said, I haven't broken a law. I told her that. She says, well, we were called out here, and I said, that's fine. You can come out and you can investigate, but I don't have to help with your investigation, and I don't have to surrender my rights just because you show up. And so Bailey showed up after that, and as soon as he walks up, the first thing she says to him, she turns and tells him he's refusing to give me his ID. And the first thing he said to me, or says, is, that's an arrestable offense. And that's where the conversating between me and him began. And while she was going to go solicit a trespass, it seemed, or at least go ask if I had even entered the property, and then because she knew that if they said I had trespassed, then that would give her probable cause to get my ID, a reasonable, suspicion, to get my ID legally. So while she was doing that, Brady got his feelings hurt or whatever, and decided to go hands-on with me, put me in cuffs, and took me to jail. He pointed to the sign saying, "There's signs there says you can't record." When I was actually about to put my feet in the car, I was sitting in the car. I asked him, "What law did I break?" And he says, "There's copyright law." He brought up a card. I said, "Copyright law," and I was like, so he didn't know what he was doing. He was just on a power trip. He didn't like that I stood my ground, and I had every right to be there and do what I was doing. I was working on a story, and I'd done a story before then, like I had said it the last time. I had just done a really good interview. I had went and recorded the WHIP building in Carlsbad, and a couple of security guards came out. One was a jerk, but I wasn't worried about him. Then another guy came, and actually an actual employee came and invited me in. I didn't know the place was open to the public on the inside those doors, and that's what I wasn't familiar with that actual building other than the actual WHIP site, So I wanted to go and get photos or a good video, and he even brought me out the public was a PR, public relations or whatever it is, a guy, and he came down and he answered all of my questions. I literally left, could not think of a single answer I wish I had asked. That's how good of an interview he gave me. Answered all my questions, turned out outstanding, and I was hoping for the same kind of outcome at Navajo. I was hoping somebody would come out, even possibly give me a tour of the place, let us know how it works and how things work, and just to be more specific than what I was letting my audience know. But never came to that. I ended up getting arrested, and I haven't gone back since.
Okay. What happened after they arrested you there at the Navajo refinery?
Just took me to jail and booked me.
And then what happened?
They took me to Carlsbad, Eddie County, and then got out 2 days later, and 3 years later, here we are.
They took you to Carlsbad, you say?
Yes, sir. They to the Eddie County Detention Center.
Okay. And it was 2 days later that you got out?
Yes, sir. I was in for 48 hours.
Okay.
And then my daughter in school saw me get arrested. When they finished their work early, the teachers let them get on their phone, and she saw my notification and she watched it and she freaked out in school when she saw me in handcuffs.
Okay, so your daughter saw your arrest off of your YouTube channel?
Yes.
That you were live streaming to?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Was there any particular reason why you were in for 48 hours down at the detention center?
Because I didn't give them my ID, or because I didn't.
At the detention center, you didn't give them your ID?
No, they had my ID. They wanted me to. What do they want? I don't remember. My social security number. I wouldn't give them my social security number. I told them my ID, all my personal belongings was right there in front of me, and my ID was right there. And I said, all the information you need is right there. And they said, we can't go off of that. A cop can go off of that, but they can't go off of that.
So they asked you for your social security number?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't give it to them?
No.
Okay. And that's why you stayed the extra time?
I'm not sure if that's why, but I know that I didn't give it to them. But when he told me that the judge is going to see you in 2 days. And I says, I'm going to be in jail for 2 days. He says, yeah. I said, well.
So were you going to get out if you gave him your social security number?
I don't know.
Did you have that impression from how they were handling you?
I thought I was going to get out the whole time. I didn't know I was going to stay in jail.
And it was after that you didn't give them your social security number that you stayed in?
Well, I had to go sit in my cell, and then they came and told me that the judge will see you in 2 days.
Okay. And you went and sat in your cell after you had told them you weren't giving them your social security number?
Yeah. Well, not immediately after, but, we talked, and I said, no, that's personal information, man. I'm lawfully arrested. I ain't, giving you all my, I don't even know who you guys are. They're strangers. I ain't giving out my social security number.
The incident at the refinery happened about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right?
I guess so. Yes, about 1:30.
Okay. And that was a Tuesday, right?
If you say so, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. If I told you that I looked it up on the calendar, and
Then it is, yes, sir. I just wouldn't know off the top of my head.
And this happened on September 11th, 2018, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so September 11th would have been an anniversary of the terrorist attack, right?
Yeah, but that was 17 or what years later. How far are we gonna go back? Pearl Harbor? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Nobody was attacked with cameras.
I'm just asking you.
Oh, okay.
September 11th, 2018 was an anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attack, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were aware when you went to Navajo that it was September 11th, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you chose to go to Navajo on that date for a reason, right?
No, it was convenient that day. Happened.
Why was it convenient?
I couldn't tell you. It just happened to be that day that it was a good day for me to go. If rather I had no other work to do, so I said, okay, I'm gonna go do some recording.
All right, and just to be clear, this happened at the Navajo refinery there on Main Street in Artesia, right?
Yes, Main Street, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. That refinery, I assume that you've lived in Eddy County your whole life. I assume you've driven past that refinery before?
Oh yeah, everyone we know it's there.
Yeah. And that street that you walk down, Main Street, you've been down that street before, right?
Few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. From what I've seen driving by there and then looking at videos and stuff, there's on that fence that runs along, that you walked along, there's all kind of signs on the fence on there, right?
Yes.
There's signs about who owns it, and signs about what gate number it is, and signs about how many days since we've had an accident, and signs about smoking and all kind of stuff on there, right?
I'm sure there was. I specifically remember the gate numbers, or I think it was gate 10 or something, and then the no recording or no photos signs.
Right. There's signs on there about no trespassing, right?
There probably is. I don't remember those. But I didn't trespass, so I wasn't.
Well, I'm not saying you did, but there are signs on there about no trespassing, right?
I'm sure there are.
Okay. Are there signs on there about it being private property?
There probably is. I'm not sure.
Okay. And there are signs on there about no filming or photography.
There is.
Okay. And you were aware of those signs before you went and filmed that day, right?
I was sure there was going to be signs, but
That said no filming?
yeah.
Okay. That day, the day that you went and did this, I need you to tell me what you did that day before you went to Navajo.
Oh, that's too far back for me to remember those specific. The day before?
No. This happened about 1 o'clock. I need you to tell me what you did that morning.
I can't remember what I did that morning.
Okay. Before you got to Navajo, is there anything at all about your day that day that stands out in your mind?
No, my daughter went to school. I got my stuff together and then I drove to Artesia.
Okay.
Yeah.
What grade was your daughter in that year?
6th or 7th.
Okay. In going, this happened at 1 o'clock on that Tuesday. Going back 24 hours, so 1 o'clock the day before. Within those 24 hours, had you had anything alcoholic to drink?
No, I don't drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Within the 24 hours before you started filming, had you taken any kind of illegal or recreational drugs?
No.
Within those 24 hours before you started filming, had you used any kind of medication of
No.
any kind? No.
No, I don't do drugs, alcohol, nothing.
Or medication?
No, I had the last time I took medicine was over 10 years ago, and the last time I took a drink of beer was over May will be 5 years. I didn't drink hard liquor, I drank beer, but May will be 5 years.
Why did you give it up?
Just, I'm a Christian.
Well, some Christians drink. Was there any reason why
There's
you chose to give it
A
up?
lot of people call themselves Christians and they're not, so
Okay.
don't put me with them. I'm myself.
Okay. I'm curious as to why you chose to give up alcohol.
Because why not? Because I'm a Christian. God says in Corinthians 6:9, no drunkards will inherit the kingdom of God.
Okay. Was there anything specific that happened to you that caused you to decide to give up alcohol?
No, well, not only, but I've been trying, I wanted to quit for a long time, and my dad drank himself to death, and my daughter being born, I didn't want her to watch me being drunk or drinking all the time and then become, the same thing. So, I told her, you remember me when I always used to drink, and, there was times you didn't like me when I drink too much, so, people ain't gonna like you if you drink too much either. I just tell my daughter, I don't ever tell my daughter, don't drink, don't smoke. I tell her, if you drink, if you smoke, this is what's gonna happen to you. If I tell her don't, then she's gonna, right? So I say if you do. So also just because I want to be a good role model to her,
Before this incident, had you ever had any interaction at all with the female officer, Sanchez?
No, I've never seen any of them before.
Okay. Let me ask you specifically, before this incident, had you ever had any interaction at all with Officer Bailey?
No.
Okay. After this incident, like from...
I haven't seen them since, other than court. I didn't know who they were before. I don't go to Artesia. I live in Carlsbad. So,
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know anybody.
Sure. Let me finish my question, though, so we can get it on the record, okay?
Oh, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
That's okay. After this incident, up until the present, have you had any interaction of any kind with either Officer Sanchez or Officer Bailey other than at court?
No.
Okay. Before this incident, had you ever heard anything about either of those officers?
No.
Okay. Since the incident, have you heard anything about either one?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Now you said a while ago that I think you said that you had worked in a refinery before?
No, I've done work at the refinery.
Doing what?
That's what I can't remember specifically. I was a vacuum truck operator, so it would have been something to do with that. I don't know. I don't remember if it was sucking out a tank or if I was pumping water into something. But I remember it had to do with, there was a lot of downtime. Like you would just fall asleep and wait till they're ready for you. And then they'll come knock on your door and, okay, turn it on. And you're like, all right, you turn it on. And then they'll tell you when to turn it off. That's all it was. It was mostly just standby time.
Was this at the Navajo refinery?
Yeah. I've done the Navajo, I'm not in Carlsbad, I'm sorry. The Navajo, and the Marathon plant.
Okay. So when would have been the last time you would have been inside the Navajo refinery?
It would have been early 2005, 2006.
Okay. Did you ever do any work or have a job where your place that you reported for work every day was at the refinery?
No.
So your work in the refinery just consisted of driving the trucks in there, doing whatever the truck needed to do, and then leaving.
Yeah,
Is that right?
I think I only did like 2, maybe 3 jobs there ever. But I have been inside there, because of that. But we typically didn't do that kind of work. We mostly worked out at the pulling units or hauling water or whatever.
Do you know anybody that works for Navajo?
I don't think so.
Okay. As of the date that you did your filming, did you know anybody there?
No, I didn't know no one there. At least not that I know of. I mean, there might have been someone I know there, but wouldn't know.
You said that at the website that they had talked about it, kind of shown you around a little bit, stuff like that. Before you did your filming or while you were doing your filming, did you ever ask anybody from Navajo for a tour or for information about it?
Not before I went. I asked the security guard. I told the security guard when they first approached me at the very beginning, I told him what I was doing and that I would like if somebody could come out and actually give me an interview, maybe give me a tour. That would make it a better video. I told him that, yes.
Okay. At any other occasion or whenever you dealt with anybody else from Navajo, did you ever ask them for information or a tour or anything like
No.
that? This trip that you made out to the whip site, did you do that before you were filming at Navajo or after?
Before.
Before. When was it before, more or less?
I'd say 2 weeks to a month and a half. I can't really be specific. I could look it up for you if you want.
Oh, that's okay.
I could show you the video.
But it was before you went to Navajo.
Yeah, absolutely, it was before.
Okay.
It was one of my motivations. It was one of my motivations to keep doing more because I wanted to do more facilities. I wanted to keep going. I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep doing, I want to maybe go do like even Intrepid Potash, because that's a big industry in our area that a lot of people work, The oil field became a big thing in our economy. The economy boomed. So many people moved here. It was a big deal. So it was matters of public interest that I would go and create a news article with it, So that was my intentions. It was to go do, just like the whip, that's a huge part of Carlsbad. It's worldwide news. And people know of oil fields and all this stuff, but most don't realize how it turns into fuel, into gas or asphalt and all this stuff. So I wanted to go show them the workings and how, first-hand knowledge type stuff.
Did you ever go film any of the potash mines?
No, I never did. I kind of lost interest or motivation after this.
Okay. Before this incident happened, you had gone out to the whip site and filmed out there, right?
Not the main website, the building that's in Carlsbad, the office, like that
Okay.
big 3-story huge building. That is where.
But not out at the whip site itself.
No, I haven't gone there yet.
Okay. Other than Navajo and the whip site office in Carlsbad, had you ever gone and filmed any other places that were involved in like the energy industry?
No, I hadn't. Whip was the first one I've done that I, try to make in a professional manner and look good, and I wanted to keep that up and start building video catalog with these, and.
After this incident, have you gone and filmed any other places that are involved in the energy industry?
No.
Okay, why not?
Like I said, it kind of ruined the thrill of it for me.
What did?
Being arrested.
Okay. Before you headed out there that day, did you meet up with anybody or talk with anybody about what you were going to do?
I told my mom, that's where I'm headed.
What'd you tell her?
Just, I'm going to go cover a story. I'm going to go record the thing for my next video.
Okay.
She says, okay, be careful,
You tell her you were going to Navajo?
Yeah, she knew. That's exactly where I was going.
All right.
She didn't know till that morning, but I told her that's where I'm headed.
Did you tell anybody else before you went out there?
No.
Did you meet up with anybody that morning before you went out to Navajo?
No.
And you got there by driving from Carlsbad to Artesia, right?
Yes.
Okay. In your own car?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of car did you have that day?
I had a 1990 G20 van, Chevy van. Sorry, a Chevy G20.
No problem. Where'd you park?
One of the restaurants.
In Artesia?
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't even know what the name of it.
Where was it located in relation to the Navajo plant?
It's on Main Street, or one of those things there. I'm not sure. There's so many. I'm not familiar with. I know how to drive through Artesia. I just don't know none. You know what I mean?
How far away from the plant did you park?
Maybe half a mile.
Okay.
No, maybe not even that. It was like a block, and then there was the highway. So I crossed the highway, and then I'm right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you parked on the other side of the Roswell Carlsbad Highway and then walked
Yeah.
over to Navajo?
Yeah.
Okay. Any reason you didn't park closer to the Navajo plant?
There's no parking.
Okay.
I didn't know where to park, but I knew over here it'd be safe.
You got arrested and then taken down to Carlsbad and spent 2 days down there. What happened to your car?
My mom picked it up
When did she pick it up?
the same day, same night.
That you got arrested?
I have spare keys, so her husband brought her to pick it up, and they drove it home. She drove it home for me.
Did they have the keys, or they just stuck under the wheel well, or what?
No, it was my house.
Okay. So they came up to Artesia, got your car, and drove it home that same night of the day you got arrested?
Yes.
Okay. Did anybody go with you to the Navajo plant?
No.
Was anybody with you at all anywhere during the time you were at Navajo?
No.
Okay. Did anybody besides your mom know that you were going to go to the Navajo plant and work on your story?
No.
All right. You've kind of touched on this, but I want to be sure I give you a chance to tell me the full answer. Why was it that you chose to film the refinery?
It matters of public interest.
How is the refinery a matter of a public
Oil field boom, the huge oil field industry in our area that has overcame this territory in the last few years. And so it's what's going on around here. So it's matters of public interest, and people want to know. So I'm made a video. I was intending to make a video to, just informative video.
So what do you think the people would learn from your video of just the smokestacks and the derrick and the pipes that are there at the plant? How do you think that would feed the public's need to know?
As I was explaining to them, because I ended up going live, I was explaining to them.
I'm sorry. I'm not understanding you when you get to going.
Go a little slower.
Okay. What are we?
I was asking you how the public was going to be informed by shooting video of the fence and the piping of the plant and just that stuff that you can see from the street.
I'm explaining to them what goes on as I'm showing them. These guys, do this. I forget which tank that they put the crude in, but I know that it gets heated up and different things evaporate at different temperatures. So and this is an example because these are the specifics I couldn't remember. So just as an example, this isn't, but let's say gasoline will evaporate at 200 degrees, and then diesel will evaporate at 180 degrees, and something else, a little bit below that, that's their evaporating temperature. So it rises the same way you would make distilled water or you make moonshine. It rises and then it turns back into liquid, and that's how they separate the liquids into what they become, and they get refined into the fuels that they are. Then there's the leftovers, that they make oils, that they make plastic, that they make, and the absolute last that's left over is what the black stuff that they use to make asphalt. But like I said, I forgot every details about it, so I was trying to explain that to them. But that's why I was telling the security guard, it'd be cool if somebody would come out here and actually give me an interview and explain to us, and maybe give us a tour, a walkthrough or something, to get more in depth of.
I can see how that would have been helpful for your video. So before you went out to Navajo that day, did you call them and say, hey, listen, I want to come out here and shoot some video?
No.
Why not?
Didn't care to.
Well, you said that you wanted to have an explanation of what goes on there. It seems like it might have gone better for you in terms of getting that explanation.
Well, it could have.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
If you had called ahead and said, hey, I want to come do this video, can you have somebody come out and meet me and tell me about this? And I'm just curious as to if that's what your real goal was, why you didn't call ahead and ask for that.
Yeah, because it was a last minute idea to go out there in the first place. And I'm like, you know what? I got nothing to do today. I'm going to Navajo.
Okay. You could have called them that morning, right?
Probably, but
Okay.
not necessary.
Once you got out there, did you do anything else besides make that one comment to the security guard in an effort to get somebody to come out and give you some explanation?
No, I told them that, and we were done. They accepted what I told them, and it was all good from there. It was everyone else that had a problem. That one guy that drove by, I think that one security guard, he still called the cops, I guess, just out of protocol or whatever, but
Okay.
they don't know the First Amendment. They didn't realize that I have a God-given right to do what I was doing.
We're going to get into all that. As you went along there, walking along the fence filming, did you continually talk about what you knew that was going on in there, or what you thought they were doing in the plant to, sort of add some educational commentary to your video about refinery?
No, because I didn't intend to do that in the first place. I wanted to get B-roll footage.
I'm sorry, B-roll?
B-roll, yes, ma'am. So that's where you just get footage and then maybe sell it to a news company or make your own news story with it, whatever. I never intended to even speak to an audience. I only went live because they approached me. So that was never my intentions. So I just had to, off the top of my head, try to remember exactly how this equipment operated. So that's why I tried to explain as best as I could remember to my audience. Okay.
After you got released from jail a couple days later, did you then go back and try and get in touch with the people at Navajo and say, hey, I've got this footage of your refinery. I'm doing a report on the refinery for the benefit of the public. I'd like to talk to somebody about what you guys do out there. Did you do that?
I couldn't.
Why not?
The judge says I could not go back over there.
Okay. Did you try and call them on the phone and do an interview over the phone?
I couldn't have contact with any of them.
With who?
Navajo.
Okay. Did you make any effort at all to find out other information about the refinery to add to your report?
I never made the report. It got squashed because I got arrested.
Well, you still have the video, right?
I know the live stream's up.
Okay, but you still have a copy of the video. I've got a copy of it right here.
Yeah, it's a live stream.
Okay.
So I didn't get the video I wanted. I wanted to get static recording because it's clean. The live stream isn't clean.
Okay, what I'm trying to find out is if you were there to do a report, what efforts you made to find out about what goes on in Navajo. Did you do any research?
That's what I'm saying.
Let me finish. Did you do any research before you went out to Navajo about the refinery and what they do there?
Didn't need to yet.
Okay. Did you do any research about Navajo and what they do at that refinery after you went out there?
I know what they do there. That's what I was telling my audience. I know what they do there. But I wanted more specifics if I could get it. But it wasn't the time for me to get that yet. I was getting B-roll footage. That video that you got happened because they approached me. Or else I would have a nice clean video like this is recording me right now. Nice, clean, crisp, 1080p,
Okay.
That's what it would have been. But because they approached me for my safety, I can't record and live stream at the same time. So I live streamed.
My understanding is correct, is it not, that at no point did you ever try and get in touch with Navajo and find out more information about what they do there, did you?
I was forbidden by the judge.
Okay.
He says do not go back, do not have any contact with any Navajo employees or the arresting officers.
And you never made any effort like that before you went to Navajo, did you?
I already knew what went on at Navajo.
Did you make any effort to contact them at all before you went out there?
I didn't need to.
So you didn't?
I didn't. Because I didn't need to.
Okay.